Because it's 11.
Yeah, I know. It's
No,
going.
yeah.
It's here, okay, if you need. Ah, oh wow. I did that once too.
Yeah.
Just like watch it doesn't tip over. Should put the candle also.
You're live.
Hello. Good morning, beautiful humans, and Danielle.
Hello, Cerise.
How are you this morning, honey?
I'm great. I'm great. Thank you very much. It's exciting to be here.
Yeah, the sun is shining, so at least we got some good vibes going on outside. Thank you for joining us today, very early. It's a pleasure to have you. As always, meeting you again, the first time during the pandemic, I can actually see you. We've only been talking on the phone. So this is a very exciting time for me as well. So let's get to introducing you and your project. You are the founder of Com Chor. You started Com Chor in April of 2013 in Berlin. It's a people of color community chor that is under your, by the way, what are you speaking, German or English today?
Oh, I thought German, but we can also do English.
However you wish, we can.
For some explanation, I will need to turn back in German, but other way, we can start in English.
Okay, we'll introduce in German, and then we can switch back to English, and then switch back to German. Sorry. You are also you perform yourself, but I'll give you the stage to introduce yourself to the.
Thank you very much for having me. It's very exciting to be here. Yes, I'm Daniele Daude. Actually not only the founder, but also the conductor of the Com Chor, which is choir for Black people and people of color in Berlin. It's now been 7 years. And it started like maybe we can go for this a bit later. But yeah, the Com Chor started naturally. Whoa, what is happening?
I'm sorry, I have to turn that off. I thought I had turned everything off, but okay. It's just really loud.
Should I introduce the Com Chor or just talk about?
Please.
Okay.
Talk about yourself and what kind of background do you have? Let's. How about we want to start with that? How about you?
So I've been. I started music in Paris, France, when I came from, and Actually, I'm a violinist, so I started to study violin first at Conservatoire National, and then while these studies, I was asked for my further teachers from the middle school to conduct a choir from teacher choir. So that I was like 17. And that's how my first experience of conducting a choir started while I was studying the violin. So I terminated with the violin, and then I started to study musicology here, still in Paris. And then I came around 2000, something like this, to Berlin. And then I changed in Berlin to theater studies. So in musicology, my most important point is opera analysis. I come from opera. And yes, and there's actually a teacher from the French university who told me, so stay in musicology in Paris and just change in Germany so you can have both. So also that's why I graduated in Paris in musicology and in Germany in theater studies. But my main point is still opera analysis, performance analysis. So yeah, that would be the short about me. Yes.
And so if you go from that beginning and then you came to Germany, you studied here, you continue studying here. Where did the idea of Com Chor come?
Oh, actually, I was asked to. It wasn't my idea. I had a lot of friends who were singing in several different choir, was Black friends and people of color, and they were all telling me about horrible experiences or not nice experiences, just as being the only person of color in a white choir. And the last point, some close friends of mine were singing in a gospel choir who just, it just dissolved. And they asked me to lead a gospel choir, which I don't know yet, but I'm totally not competent for gospel. So I told them, I can lead a choir, but it should be, I come from opera. So if you are willing to make like a compromise between gospel and opera, so we can, so they actually asked also for, or suggested the first songs, which were from pop culture songs. So this is how it came all together. And then I started to arrange all the songs for choir. So it's had many things came together for the Com Choir. It was always from the beginning. It was always for people of color and Black people. It was the only things that haven't changed from the beginning. But a lot of that, the arrangement and how it grows,
So so what kind of music would I be able to?
Yes, the music. So we started, actually, to be honest, I started with the Lion Sleeps Tonight with a lot of people. So it's a lied for Solomon Linda. And he's not well known, and a lot of people complained, as no, Danielle, we cannot sing that anymore. You need to have other stuff. So I tried to make some proposition, but I'm just not good in pop culture. I didn't grow up with a lot of different inspirations. So just told him, just make some proposition because I'm not competent for this. The last season we were singing like Missy Elliott, Stromae, but also Nina Simone, what else? Erykah Badu, a lot of R&B and soul from the 90s, because we are all, I think, probably have some influence from the 90s, US 90s. Yes, pop songs. And yes, and actually for the next season, we also wanted to start a retro program, as this. So it's mean that I would like to have to perform more songs from our community for parents and grandparents. So that means songs who that's influence further generation, like 50s or 60s. So it could be Nina Simone, but also more like people like Dalida or so from the further generations. And so where we perform someday, I hope in 2021, 22, that if our parents and grandparents are in the audience, so they know the song. So this is the main goal for the next, build a retro program. So 60s.
So beautiful. I mean, it's such a different experience just thinking about this choir itself. You and I had talked about it previously, that my experience in a choir was completely different. And so growing up in Germany and being in an all-white choir, and then having the first song that I actually resented was, as I had mentioned to you before, was Sister Act. And then being the Black person that had to be Whoopi Goldberg, you know, but it wasn't, it wasn't my voice. It was something that was given to me due to my skin color. So it affected me very much, especially when it came to the clothes we wore. We wore the typical dirndl. So it was me wearing a dirndl as a Black German was very awkward to me. It didn't belong to me. It wasn't my culture. It wasn't really something that I grew up with. So hearing from Com Chor has been very enlightening to me, and I'm very excited once everything is open again to finally join you guys. But tell me a little bit about how finances, like how do you continuously have Com Chor, and how do you survive, and how, I mean, we're about to get to a clip soon, so everybody can experience what Com Chor is really about and how beautiful and how facet it is. But to get a background of how do you guys survive?
With a lot of love. We don't have finances right now. We had it to 17 and 18, I think, and also a little last year, if I'm right. But we are actually not living from finances. The point is, I started it as a community chor, also for people who cannot pay it. So it was for a very, very, very long time for free. And after a while, I thought, okay, let's make a month Beitrag from 10 euro, which is totally not working, which is also totally okay. So the main point is that everyone should come, every people of color, especially queer people, are very, very welcome to a career. And I don't want that people are not coming because of the money. So it's pretty important for me that that people of color, Black people, queer people of color are welcome, not having too many. So now how I survive, I have jobs, so that's how I survive. And we are applying for funding, most for being able to have a weekend together, to go out in little, how to say, Schloss? Castle, thank you, a little castle in Brandenburg. So we are going there with the bus and coming back with the bus. We are coming in this castle, having a whole weekend of rehearsal and singing and being together. And then we are coming back. This is our luxus for the year. We are doing this once a year. And to be able to do this, we need like 5,000 euros. And for this, we are applying. So okay. That's it. We don't need sponsor or money, big to make big things. We need the money to be able to be together, who have this weekend, and yeah, to have the, I don't know, meet the room and stuff like this. That's how we survive. Yeah.
Yeah, and just giving each other the empowerment, right? I think the most important is giving each other a feeling of community, and I think you have created that. It's beautiful. To give everybody a little bit of insight, let's play the clip now, so we know what Com Chor is.
Okay.
Sorry.
No problem.
Sad working. Let's see. Oh, hold on. Just 1 second. Sorry. Okay. Okay.
This is technical.
It's fine.
I'm not here. No,
okay.
There we are. Yes. Yes. Thank you so much. That was so much fun. That was so much fun. Oh my gosh, that was so good. Thank you so much, Danielle. I mean, that's some energy.
Yes.
That's some energy. I mean, you look like you just had the best time watching it as well. You're just like in the midst of it.
Yeah, all the remembrance of this time. That was only last year in Südblock. And yeah, it was very nice. It was very nice.
Pre-corona, right?
Yes, you can see it. Yes,
Oh.
totally different time.
Yeah, and the energies are, I mean, it's going to be different, but it's not going to be worse, you know, once you get back together.
I like that. Different, but
what, can you explain the how important this community is to you and what it gives to you?
Yeah. Oh, it's for me, it's okay. Let's start like this. When we started, it was like 2 or 3 people, and for 7 years, for 5 years, or now, I can see there is a continuity. When people are coming in the chorarium, a lot of people are very shy and very not certain of their own capacity. So I hear a lot, no, I'm not so good, or so people who are putting themselves down. And this is something I really, as long I am here, I will do something about this, because there are a lot of talented people who was told they are not. So the first step is to give Vertrauen, to give confidence again. So I say a lot, Com Chor is maybe 20% music, 80% being together, and confidence and empowerment. Because if you don't trust your environment, you cannot make music, especially not sing. We are using our body. The voice is really, if your body is like having a lot of notes, you cannot sing, you cannot put something around. You will, you will, it is very tense for the body. So to be able to do something like this, first of all, is to create an atmosphere. And that's what I like a lot about this Korea, because people are very warm to each other. It's a community in the best way of it. Very committed to each other. You know, there's a lot of moment in the Korea when they are communicating to each other, and I'm here, but I could also not be there, because they are just having this strong connection to each other, which is also very beautiful to see. So for me, I see myself as long it is needed. I see myself as like a mentor for letting people to have more confidence, and then like they can see that they are good. They can see how is it from the beginning, and then after 2 years, what the voice is doing. And it's not only about music. What we learn, I'm also learning in this Korea. I started to make the arrangement in 2013, and my arrangement now are not the same. I also adapt to people who are there. They are getting more complicated. I started 2 voices and 3. Now we have 4 voices. Wow. And I can, make higher and deeper voices, because I know, they can do that. There's no problem, and they are not shy anymore to go high or to go down. So we are learning from each other. I'm so learning a lot from the, first of all, musically. Just they tell me a lot of music I just don't know. So for me, it's also, oh, okay, there's this, so I can arrange things, and then I get more familiar with the music. It's an exchange. It's an exchange. Also, a lot of people meeting there are also starting projects together, or are doing other stuff together. There are a lot of musically dedicated people. Yeah. And for me, from my side also, as a teacher, it's important to tell the people from the choir that you don't need to write music, you don't need a score to make music. We're making music all the time without score. And for me, it's very important. So we are using our memories, our ear, and we go on. And you can see there are a lot of very talented people there. So that,
Where were you when I was growing up? Like, oh my God, I swear. Like, it's like my biggest fear ever was reading notes. Like, I was just like, how am I supposed, I don't know. I hear it and I just have to, because it was something like I love to listen to music and I love to sing, but like reading and being forced to read to be able to do something was just so, it doesn't reside. It was something that wasn't me, I guess you also share your background of having to be in charge when you were 17, and then knowing how scary that was, but you knew that the love to something was so great, and it was in you, and you were capable, and that sharing that experience and sharing that vibe, I feel is my urge to come join you in a way, because I just feel like how much it just gives, there's nothing negative, there's all positive, so it's beautiful. But coming from Com Chor to something else that is very, very, very dear to you. You're also involved with the String Orchestra.
Yeah.
It's an ensemble that has a different structure. First, I want to know why it's with orchestra and an orchestra. So you can explain, because I was just like, maybe she retyped it. Like, oh no, it's actually, it's just like, first of all, it's branding, so I'll never forget it. And D, what? Was ist da los?
Yes. Okay, with the orchestra, there are different meanings. So I'll pick two of them. The first one is a huge influence of Sun Ra on my person, Sun Ra and the orchestra. So he wrote it with the K. So Sun Ra is a free jazz musician and also philosopher and freak for a lot of people. And in the 70s, he started his project Sun Ra and the Orchestra with the K. And for him, it was the arc, the references from the Old Greek, arche. I'm sorry, my Old Greek is kind of rusted. So arche means that's the beginning of something. The beginning of something. You have this word also in archetype, archetypus, the same basics. And also in Latin would be archaismus, so the beginning of something. And I also liked it because I know when I think of arc, everyone in Germany and mostly Europe will think of Arche Noah. Will think of this kind of Brücke, even if it's not in the word, but they will think of this, okay, yeah, having everyone on this Kisten and like traveling to another point. And I like this idea of this beginning and this traveling point. That's why we have orchestra with the CH, like arche, and orchestra together. Just
amazing. It's such a great background. But before we get deeper into it, let's just show a slide so we can see how different and what you guys do there and what the focus is on there.
Oh yes. Okay. Do we have music online?
No, it's just a slide, I think.
Okay.
Sorry.
Just explain a little bit.
It's
Cool.
just
I absolutely don't know how to do it, so I'm very glad that Vicky is doing it for me.
He's a queen.
Ah, yes. Yay! That's the people. Yay!
So if you want to just tell us a little bit about what we're looking at, so we can have a feel of how different the structure is and what your focus is on there.
Yes. So the string orchestra, I started 2016. It started also not willing, also a bit of Zufall. I was playing in an orchestra, playing as a violinist. Actually, as any Black people in an orchestra is also not such nice experience in Germany. And I was very tired. I was playing in an orchestra, and then I met a first Black violin in my life, and I was, oh my God. Yeah. So Helena, and we talked together, and we wanted to play a quartet together, to only 4 people. So to find other people, maybe Black people or people of color in Berlin, I asked on Facebook if there are any other Black and people of color musicians here willing to play some music with us. And the internet cracked. Was,
oh wow!
It was like I was shocked. I got answer from Münster, from Bremen, from Hamburg, from a lot of places. From trumpet, from oboe, from
wow.
horn, from pauken, from strings and winds and everything. And people go, yeah, I'm willing to play. Please take me here, take me out. And it was a shock because it's ambivalent, because of course I was very happy of that, but it's also actually a very sad situation. That there are a lot of people, but they are alone in their places. So for me, I acknowledge from the point that, okay, people are there, we are just not connected. So we need to connect first. And from then I'm living in Berlin, so I started in Berlin with the strings because I'm violinist. I think if I played oboe or something else, I would probably have started with a wind ensemble. But I'm a string, so I start with strings. And very early, I found the concertmaster, Sarah Martin, who is a fantastic person. She's still the concertmaster, very talented person too. And then other people clicked. That's how we met.
Wow.
And the more we were playing, the more we had new people. And then the friend of the friend came in, and this how it's. We are actually, if I count everybody, it's between 12 and 16. But not everybody's there all the time. But yeah, we have a small pool.
Wow. You can stop the slide now.
Okay.
Thank you, honey. Wow. It's so, I mean, it's giving the BPoC community such a different level to connect and be visible and experience and share, similar fears or similar shynesses inside a group and then flourish, you know. I was never, I mean, I thought I wanted to play the Querflöte flute for a really long time, but it didn't resonate with me because it was like from this, I was following this white teenager that I thought was amazing, but something wasn't right and something was off. And it's because I never knew somebody of color that did that. Then I started playing the Posaune, which was just because I wanted to do something and I wanted to play an instrument. But at the same time, it was in this small town. So it was just like, once again, I didn't want to stick out like a sore thumb. I wanted to include myself in a group. But then at the same time, I felt awkward because something was still off, you know, and knowing that there are communities here in Germany and especially here in Berlin that actually open up a whole different platform for curiosity and also something that you may have been growing up with, and then you put to the side because it didn't fit, because you didn't fit in a way. So generally you play classical music, is that correct?
Yes. Also because I also want to react what you said, the importance of role model. It is so crucial. It is so important to have role model. I didn't know either as a child. I didn't know any Black conductor or Black composer. And the first time someone told me there is a Black composer from the time of Mozart, I didn't believe it. So I was also brainwashed. So it's not being Black, it's not a guarantee for, I know I'm political. So you also need to deconstruct a lot of stuff. Yes. I think starting with you said you wanted to play Querflöte, but you know, Liesl is playing Querflöte, Liesl. And she's
now, you know, where was she when I was growing up?
But yeah, there are people.
Yeah, it just takes one person, you know, and then it's just like domino effect. Like it just takes Lizzo, and all these little Black girls are just like, oh my God, you know. Sometimes it just takes the right person at the right time. But for our generation, sadly, we just had nobody, or they weren't taught to us. We were just taught what society wanted to teach us, you know.
Yeah. That's also what I'm trying to do with the string orchestra. So the first step is to be surrounded by Black people and people of color, because for me it's more comfortable. It's definitely the main goal is to play the composer who are not played. And when you are a person of color in the history of classical music, there are a very high possibility that you will just not be played. Sure. So as a musicologist, I just grab and grab and grab and look at, okay, who is here? And there are a lot of people. The people are there. People are there. I mean, Beethoven were composing for a black violinist, Bridgetower, who was a star in the 19th century. There are a lot of stars in the 19th and the 18th. They are also well known. They are just not, you know, highlighted. And composers, you can, I mean, if you can find a white woman composer in the 8th century, I can guarantee there are people of color from very, very early stage. There are composers from the, also from Brazil, also from Cuban, also, yeah, from everywhere. Also black people living in Europe for a lot of different reasons. And yeah, actually everywhere. And this theme, classical music, also need to be reflected. What is classical music? So we are talking about recent music who was whitewashed in Europe, but who is practiced in all over the world. So that's the point. And the point also in classical music, so we're having that Baroque and classic and romantic and modern, so a very linear history. This music is not possible without influences of all around the world. There is no minimal music without taking a lot of West African polyrhythmy and also Balinese songs and construction principle. There is a lot that is present in classical music who actually come from somewhere else. So it's also important to acknowledge this. So yes, I told a lot of different things, but yes, playing composers, and also make aware that when we play minimal music is not white. Actually, all the influence is with the repetition and how you are constructing it. And there is something like this in West African for 100 years. So I like to point when something is highlighted as new in classical music, that if you look closer at it, it's probably be present in somewhere else in the part of the world.
Yeah, we're there. We need to dig them out, right? Since you're a teacher, that's another question. Since you're a teacher, you've experienced like how students go through their learning procedure, what they're taught, how the structures are, what is going wrong, what is wrong. And when it comes to education, especially in the music education that you're known. Yeah.
Oh, there are a lot of levels. So this year I'm how do you say, lecturer for music history. I should actually teach this semester at Freie Universität about history of opera, but yeah, been cancelled for the reason. There's a lot of different level where it goes wrong. I would say the first of all is something you actually said. It's about the written music. So there is a first selection of children who are raised and also pushed to learn the written music. They will have other tools are children who are not. And it's also in a structure, we are talking from music schools, in a structure when you are also be shamed for not reading music. So you also internalize when you're not reading music that, okay, I'm maybe not good enough with music. You know, James Brown couldn't read music. Michael Jackson couldn't read music. A lot of great people couldn't read music. I don't think that Miles Davis could read music. So there are a lot of people. The reading of the music it should be a help.
Yeah.
It's not the reason to make music. It's like an instrument. And especially today with a lot of possibility of programming, also you don't need to read music. It's a help. It's a memory help. If you have a great memory, you don't need that shit. Yeah. Then, yeah, you have a pretty early age, you have this with the reading music. If you can go through with probably a good memory, like memorizing everything. You can go through this music school, and then you have also to learn in very schoolish way. So if you are not very affine with school structure, it would be difficult.
Okay.
It's very school-like music school. And also the third is you learn an instrument very early. And for violin, the concurrence, violin and strings and English, a lot of instruments, the concurrence is very high, very, very, very high. So I'm coming from France. In France, the system is a bit different as in Germany. You have a lot of Conservatoire National, who is from the region, and then you have only 2 conservatory who are supérieur, French like supérieur stuff. So you have only 2 spaces in France when you are able to be a professional soloist. In the other places, you are learning to be a tutiste, so to play in an orchestra. So they're very hierarchical structure. When you come to Germany, you have a lot of Musikhochschulen who are more from the Musik Conservatoire National where I came from, so it's the same, and there are no like superior, which is I find more nicer. So you have this Aufnahmeprüfung. I don't know how to say it in English.
Acceptance.
Exam to come in the school.
Yeah.
So you have this, and this is pretty high. So to be able to go through this exam, you need, before in Germany, so you need to have a school, music school, who pushed you, and the most important, you need a mentor. And that's without a mentor, without someone who puts you through the system, you're not going anywhere. Let's be honest about that shit. You need, there are always people who put their own student in certain places, like in orchestras or stuff, or funding stuff also. So it's like many, so it's
a politics.
Yeah, it is. It is. So as a Black person, you really, really need to know which teacher, which person could support you, which is also a very vulnerable situation, because when you are a child or a young adult, this teaching situation is, it can be not nice, because it's one-to-one teaching. So you are dependent on someone who is teaching you, and this person could be gross and very racist and very not nice. And your next exams depend on these persons. I had right now in the String Orchestra a situation with a very young violinist who was telling me a very shocking story about her teacher was just manipulating, emotional, abusing. And this teacher is in power position. We are 2020, this is still happening. So there are also issues who are still happening here. And we need to talk about that. Definitely. Because as Black person of color, we are vulnerable to such situation, and it's happening, and we need to address that.
Definitely.
We need a lot of support. When I mean support, it can be also, I'm not coming from a musical family or something like that. My family had no clue about music. So my story is they pushed me in the music school because in French it was, school was from 8 to 4 in the afternoon, and then you could also have 2 hours of hort. So my parents were working, so we were just managing, so where can I put the child? So the child is busy, so that how I came to music and sport and everything. So the child is busy and safe. That's how I came to music. It wasn't, oh yes, I want to go there. It was keep the child busy.
But also a nice way of introducing you. I mean, you could have also been like, okay, that's the time that your parents just, or you just a child for so and so long, right? And then you outgrow it, and then you don't need to be taken care of, or you don't need to be kept busy. But in a softer way of just introducing it, in a way of saying, hey, this is something, is this still something you want to do? Because I mean, we need to keep you busy. What do you want to do? You know, instead of like I got heartbroken when I started playing the piano, and then I was still on an army base, and then he got stationed somewhere else, and that broke my heart so bad. I've never touched the piano again in my life. So it's just like the trauma is that things come with, if you lose something, how do you get it back? If you don't do it from your self-will and you get it forced because you grew up in a music house family, you know, but your experience is very, yeah, it shows both. Like you could have gone somewhere else, you could have done sports a lot more and not been in music, but you also share the whole background and the experience of just being able and capable of having that space to share. Of your traumas, you probably went through them as well, but you becoming a mentor now is through you in a way already processing, maybe, correct me if I'm wrong, processing some of your trauma so you're able to have that space for others.
Yes, it's very, yes. Actually, I told this to one of the person from the orchestra that I'm trying to be the mentor I didn't have when I came here. I'm trying to be this person. But basically I'm trying to be a Vogue mother, you know? I'm trying to keep all
yes.
And then this is my role right now. And it's important because for me, yeah, you know, I'm over 40. I know what my worth is.
40.
40.
Yes.
I don't have to prove myself. I know what I know, what I can, and I don't have the need to, you know, to fight back people who
we know better.
You know. But I also I need to help the lot of of children who are here around, and I'm doing what I can with my musical possibilities. I think tell people that written music is not the most important. Need to be told a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, it would.
It's almost like a taboo. It's just like, don't say that written music is not important. You know,
it's not that much. If you have other stuff, it's important to listen to the structures and so. And you know, written, it's a help. If you can do this without this, better. When you are working without this written help, you are also training your memory, and you're also training your complex and global structures, which is also very nice.
Sure.
So there are different possibilities to learn music. This is not the only one, and telling this is just to exclude a lot of people from classical music. And yes, to come back to this point, at some point I made this classical music my own. It was only me and this music, and having, you know, enjoying this music, not regarding to what people were saying. I was very lucky because in my music school there were a lot of Black people and people of color. And when I started, I was very like 12, starting to play in an orchestra. It was people of color. So for me, I wouldn't first associate classical music with white music or being in a white environment, because I've seen it from a very young age. So I knew it was possible, but then role model would still be very important. Yeah.
Wow, this has been an amazing talk. I'm not gonna lie. What I want to hear from you, coming to maybe our last question, what do you wish for the future? If you could wrap it up in Com Chor and the String Orchestra, after the pandemic, yeah, any thought that comes to your mind when it comes to, yeah, music.
Yes, after I think the pandemic forced us to think more deeply about structures and what we want to do and what we would like to do. So I'm not really a person who would say, yes, like back to before that, because I think, first of all, it's not possible. And we probably will have to live with it for a while. So for me, what I wish for the string orchestra and for the Com Chor, that they grow, they're becoming bigger, and that it still be a place where people are enjoying music and enjoying themselves and connecting. Yeah, that would be what I think.
Do you have any rituals? Now this dawned on me. Do you have any rituals that you do before you sing or before you the chor sings? Or
yeah, we're doing like Entspannung, and yes, actually before having a concert, we are coming all together and for a moment being quiet together, and we start to connect very deeply and heart to heart. Try to connect. This is a very important moment pre-concert, so most of people are so like very excited. So we're trying at some point to calm down and then to connect all together. It's a very short moment, but very important. And the moment of connection, and then go for the performance.
And do you have a ritual of doing something afterwards as well, or just the beginning?
Yeah, party would be the ritual to connect in another way.
You got that right. How do you feel, Danielle? Thank you for joining us this morning.
Yeah, thank you for a nice question and patience with me. Yeah.
No, but how do you feel? How's the talk for you today?
Yeah, it was nice. It was nice. I was very excited, but no, okay.
Perfect. Yeah, being part of the Migration Festival has been, you have been a part from the beginning, so I'm very happy that we were able to hear from you, hear about Com Chor and how about the String Orchestra and how everything came about and what your inspiration is, where it came from, who you are, what the future beholds, and just giving our communities as, BPoC's a very beautiful platform and open arms. I feel that that comes from you, and just thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Yay. Bye, guys.
Bye, Cerise. How does it work now?
So I'm going to turn it off at the right point. It's just not there yet.
What is happening? End stream.
It's lagging a little bit, so I just have to wait.
Coming over soon.